3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 817. I am Brian Kilby, and I'm coming down with a bug. I may not be able to speak that much. I'm constantly sick. I have kids. So, we'll see how this goes. With me this week, we have Diecast.
Hey, everybody.
Matt.
Hello.
Rob.
Hello.
Chris.
Hopefully I'm correctly synchronized this week.
Yes. And Don.
Yeah, I'm not on video. My camera has a split personality. It's Brian and Matt.
People
and
listening have no
Diecast.
idea.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying my camera's off because I'm turning into everybody else.
Okay. So last week we had a technical difficulty. So if you listen to the show and you didn't download the updated version, apologies. If you had to go back and download it, apologies still. I know what happened, why it happened, and won't happen again. That's the first time that's happened since, like, JD and I were recording just the two of us back in...
the sampling rate off?
What?
The sampling rate was off?
The sampling rate was off, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, back in 2009.
That's weird, because I didn't change anything on my
nope,
side.
it's on my side, not your side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's not my fault.
Nope.
It usually is, but not this time.
I'm not going to make sausage. I'm not going to make sausage on the podcast, but I know what happened, so...
You had one job.
Yeah, and I did it like at 5:30 in the morning.
Well, there you go.
Didn't have any other time to do it, so. But yeah, so that won't happen again. So, you know, we're a week away from Valentine's Day, which is normally like the toy fair time, and
So sad.
Yeah, so sad. But you know, there's a design team conference call this couple days ago that Chris was on.
Yeah.
And we got some news out of that. Not quite Toy Fair, but it was pretty fun. In it, they unveiled Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origins Jazz.
Yeah, everybody was quite surprised by that.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to do it.
I figured Wheeljack would be next if they continued with that theme, just because him and Bumblebee kind of go together with that opening scene.
They're probably still trying to figure out how to make Bumblebee fit in the back of a hypothetical Origin Wheeljack.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I heard some people
really, really good.
Yeah, I heard some people didn't really care for it, but I think it's amazing.
I mean, it's not the best looking toy, but it's cool for what it looks fine.
I think it looks great.
I mean, it's not quite as, it's a little more squat front to back, but that's minor. That's super minor.
It almost looks, yeah, Don, you're right. It almost looks like Searchlight or something, the throttle bot, except for, you know, white and blue instead of just white. Well, actually, I guess Searchlight's white and blue too, but
it's so rare to get a toy with a show accurate fake hood chest.
Yeah. So did Mark or anybody say when this is coming out, Chris?
The pre-orders are supposed to go up later this month. They would not be more specific than that because they don't want to give us wrong information.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
So what all did you learn on the conference call?
Oh boy, what didn't I learn? Okay, I'm going through my notes. I had something better prepared, but then my computer decided to be stupid.
Wah,
so
wah.
we're gonna have to do this a little bit more freeform. Mark wanted toy-based parts on Kingdom Blaster and Twincast, but ended up ruling that out for like animation accuracy purposes. That and like the need for extensive retooling is also why Twincast does not have a deeper cassette door to theoretically hold 2 cassettes.
You know, I forget that Twincast had that. I always just think of that as being a Soundblaster thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It came up during the call, and he explained that like there was too much that would have to be done to make that work, and also they were kind of worried about the aesthetic issue of that too, making the chest deeper.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm okay with, you know, the route they went. I would have loved a toy head, you know, myself, but I'm perfectly okay with the animation accurate one because I just love Twincast. Those colors look really good on Blaster.
And I want to say the G1 Blaster toy can actually hold 2 cassettes as is and didn't need any modification to become Twincast, but I may be wrong.
I have like 5 G1 Blasters, and I've never put more than 1 cassette in them. But I think you're right. I think it does stick out farther, of course, than Soundwave. Of course, it's a completely different toy, but yeah, I think you're right. I just never done it.
So of course we observed various points that Studio Series Air Razor looked like it transformed a lot like Kingdom Air Razor, and that was not exactly on purpose, but the assets that the studio gave them for their model at the 18 to 24 months prior when they started working on it were very much like Beast Wars Air Razor. A lot of the Beast designs for the movie started out that way. And one of the engineers said, this is very similar. This can probably work the same way. So they just kind of went with it because they knew that worked. As far as, how accurate it's going to be to the movie, again, 18, 24 months prior, revisions can happen since then, but this was accurate at the time they started working on it. Let's see, what else do I have?
What was your question?
Oh, we'll get there. I'm trying to take these in order so I don't leave anything out.
Got you.
So someone asked about, with the long lead time on Transformers, how much time is there to make changes based on like fan feedback, for instance. And a lot of that depends on what the specific issue is, but generally, the closer it gets to being on shelf, the less they can do, but they can respond to some fan feedback and make changes. Skyquake is actually a direct example of that, where when they saw the fan reaction to RC and Bumblebee at the start of Legacy, there was still just enough time to make some tweaks to Skyquake to make it look more appropriately like the Transformers Prime counterpart than the original concept they had gone with. So Skyquake's appearance now is said to be a direct result of that feedback.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and there was about a year's time there before that went into production, so they had just enough time at that point to send those changes through to be done.
So, real quick, just stepped away just to check. I grabbed Twincast off the shelf and Blaster off the shelf, and Twincast actually does have a deeper door.
Oh,
yeah,
good to know.
Yeah,
okay.
I've never actually bothered to check that.
I guess Blaster is probably like 1.5 tapes deep, so they had to just do a little bit for
Yeah.
Evan did mention that like serious issues, like specifically one thing that was used as an example was the yellowing plastic. The person who asked the question used that example, Evan didn't. But serious issues also require like investigations to figure out what went wrong where. And that can take 6 months to a year, he said, and that doesn't necessarily include the time then to figure out how to solve that problem once they understand and have figured out what the problem is. So things like that can take a while to actually get solved. Delaney Norris, who works on Studio Series, also added that like for packaging stuff, they can do that till pretty late in the process because of course packaging is the last stage of it to be really like irreversibly locked in. So a lot of this just depends on what the issue is, what kind of feedback they receive when, but they have different levels of responses they can give to that. Let's see. We did get confirmation that Metalhawk was an after-the-fact modification to the Cyclonus tooling. It was not planned in advance. Crankcase apparently was the same thing, and that was a project that Mark headed up himself. So that was not an original plan with the skids mold. It's just something that they looked at the toy and worked that out. And Evan actually said that he has a gigantic document of the toys that they've worked on with all kinds of notes over it saying, we can make this from this and this, this, and this. They also were giving like high praise to the Takara Tomy engineers where like they could send an abstract concept over to them saying, we could probably do this with this toy. And then they get back like this whole detailed proposal for how to do that. That's better than anything they could have imagined. And sometimes the Takara engineers send them their own proposals for a new mold with already like 8 alternate things they can do with it. They're just like, how do you do this? They're just as impressed with their Takara Tomy colleagues as we are, let me tell you.
I mean, they're very good.
Yeah, they really are. Okay, so this was an interesting one. About how many alternate heads are pre-planned on the mold? Usually just 1. Very rarely, they said, there could be 2 on there. Sometimes there are no alternate heads. Sometimes the 1 alternate head will also come with things like alternate accessories, but in general, the pre-planned alternate parts is just like 1 head and maybe a little bit extra. I think the corollary to this probably is that when they're designing it, they have like the CAD modeling for like replacement mold plates to be cut later to slot in, but that's not necessarily part of the original cut of the tooling itself. But I thought it was interesting to like get an actual number put on this. So, a lot of toys have one head, a few have none, and every once in a while they can get an extra head in there too.
And to be fair, that's right now. That could have been different 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, anything is certainly, well, I would say this is probably accurate to like up to 4 or 5 years ago. And then if there's differences in how they're approaching this now, that'd be stuff they wouldn't really be able to talk about because it's, current in process stuff. That problem came up a few times during this where they were asked kind of open-ended questions and their answer is like, well, the stuff we're doing right now, but we can't tell you about that, that kind of thing. The next one I had on here. Oh yeah. So someone did ask about the possibility of getting weapons packs, especially with the context of like giving Skywarp his arm blasters back. The team is always coming up with ideas for different kinds of weapons packs. The problem is they need to find a way to fit them into retail assortments because, as Ben put it, they're retail first and e-commerce second, basically. So anything is a priority to put to retail. Because if they put on Hasbro Pulse as an exclusive, they feel like not enough people will really have access to it then. People get left out of that and they don't like that. So that's the big challenge with getting a weapons pack out. They can't really fit it into something they can sell to a store.
That's like so very un-Brian Savage of them.
Well, it's a matter of getting it in people's hands, not maintaining the market value of it.
Yeah.
They did it once before with the selects, so I really don't see why they can't do it again with the
Well,
selects.
and probably some of the feedback to that is why they don't want to do that again because
they did mention that people had a hard time getting a hold of it when they did it.
Yeah. That's the whole thing here. Like they pay attention to the stuff we talk about. They pay attention to the secondary market to see what the stuff sells for after it comes out. Because they can use that information to gauge like, okay, did we not make enough of this? Was it not available enough, widely enough? And they adjust some of their own plans based on what they see there to try to make the stuff more accessible. They said like directly, they don't want to leave anyone out from these toys. So Pulse exclusives can sometimes be an option, but for something like Weapons Pack that a lot of people might have an interest in getting hold of, they want to make that as available as possible, and Pulse is not really the way to do that yet because there's a lot of countries that still does not serve. A question about exclusives like Netflix Soundwave and Bumblebee and Velocitron Cosmos being hard to get, and if there was anything being done to address the short shelf life those had. Ben jokingly said how to answer this without getting fired, and basically it just comes down to they do look at this and try to figure out how to get these things back on the market. It's very much like what I was talking about with the weapons packs. They're looking at how the stuff did for aftermarket, how the fans responded to the availability. But the answer was mostly about the exclusivity windows that apply to these toys. Soundwave, and it sounds like Bumblebee too, but Soundwave explicitly was said to be out of the exclusivity window. And that's how the Shattered Glass one was able to come about. It's not a matter of like the character. I don't think that it portrays. It's just the mold itself is not exclusive anymore.
And like with Bumblebee, the vehicle licensing was an issue as well.
Yeah, so Soundwave could probably come back out again at some point if they found a place to put it. With Bumblebee, as Matt points out, they could get the vehicle licensing again, but to re-sign that for another year, they would have to, find the right situation to do that, probably find another retail partner to take that mold on again and, help cover some of that cost. That part's my supposition, the retailer splitting the cost on that. He did not say anything to that effect. He said that Volkswagen is actually really easy to work with, though, for the licensing. It's just a matter of having to justify that. And the really interesting point here, too, he said that the vehicle licensing usually goes for just the product year that the toy is supposed to be on shelves for. So after that point, the license expires. If they want to run the mold again, they got to re-up the license. So probably last year with Target and that 4-pack, they re-upped the license with Volkswagen to do Gold Bug, and
for
that's expired now because
2022. Yeah.
it's expired because it's a new year now.
I would say it's probably calendar year from that first.
I'm sorry, calendar year is what I meant to say.
And that first came out in December, right? That's when it started showing up. That set, like December 21, if I remember right. That's when I think I found it like right after Christmas.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
But if it was intended to be on shelves for 2022 specifically, it wouldn't matter if some got out early. That wouldn't affect that.
So if they wanted to do a glyph, they would have to renew it for like 2023 or 2024.
Yeah, and at that point, like I would more see them just use the Cliff Jumper body or use the Origin Bumblebee to do a glyph. That would be my expectation of that more than actually going back to the Volkswagen mold again for an obscure character. All right, so we're up to my question. And I asked about Blaster and Twincast's tape buddies, whether they're on separate sprues to get them to be a different color than the chest door, or if they can do that after the fact.
Mark liked that question.
He did.
Yes.
He paused for a second before answering. I don't think he was expecting a question on like quite that kind of technical level, but he did seem to get a kick out of that. He explained the tinting process they use, where with certain clear plastic colors, they can spray transparent paint over them.
Aluminum?
What?
Transparent aluminum?
If you can get the computer to respond. This only works with certain colors, but using the smoky plastic that Rewind is cast in and the particular shade of red that they used for the chest window, they got something that was felt to be close enough to what the original looked like, and it kind of got that through. Mark thought that the red chest door was a really important detail, so he,
Mark was correct.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I mean we talked about that with Core Class Soundblaster too. It's just not right without the red chest. He was really happy that someone noticed that the clear surfaces were different colors between the chest door and Rewind. Unfortunately, in the process of this, I did get confirmed, the tape guys are on the same mold with other parts of Blaster, so getting like opaque versions of them is probably not very likely.
I'm hoping for like a Studio Series Rumble where they just like redo the figure, like parts of the figure slightly. But
yeah, I think probably for that they would just have to take the CAD for those parts and cut a new mold for them. Like they can't just split them off from the Blaster mold, was basically the point. So Sam Smith did try to add a little bit more detail to this. I actually talked over him a little bit, but he was very polite and tried to let me go first, but I told him, no, it's more important to hear from you than from me, so please go ahead. Ant liked that, and then the chat said like that needs to be our episode title this week. So Sam wanted to add that, like, even with opaque colors, the same thing basically applies. They can only do certain tints with the clear plastic because the underlying plastic color and the paint color will interact and the shade will change. Sam used the example of bumblebees, where if the window tinting clear plastic is too dark, you get like an ugly greenish yellow shade on the roof panel. And the only thing they can do about that is either put more paint on it, which is more expensive, or lighten the window color underneath it. So Evan then also said, and I quote, "Red is a nightmare."
I can imagine.
Color match. Yeah. So like everything we see and talk about how the toys are color matched, like they absolutely feel it the same way we do, and they're just kind of stuck with the limitations of the materials. Let's see. What's the next one I wanted? Oh yeah, I also did take the opportunity before my turn was technically over to thank them for being accessible to us and be on social media and give us all this behind the scenes information. And Ben responded to that and said, basically when he came on the brand, he was the one who was pushing for the social media interaction because he wanted, he wanted them to be more out there. He wanted to be able to get the information out. And while he said, they could do an email blast every week of, here's what's going on behind the scenes of the design or whatever. And, he knew he would love that too. He wanted the team members to be able to like take some personal ownership of the information they were sharing, which is not something they could do from like the Hasbro corporate accounts.
I'm sure that the PR team, or at least the third party that they license, probably not that thrilled about it because the number of emails that I get since he's come on into that role has like decreased dramatically.
Yeah, possibly not. But yeah, I mean, everybody was really glad to chime in after that because I don't think it really occurred to them like just what what special thing we'd had over the last year, but like we were all really thankful to them for being on, and it was interesting to find out like what the actual impetus was for this change last year. Let's see. The next one's a little bit farther down here. Sorry, I did have a like properly prepared note for this, but I lost it when my computer messed up a little while ago.
This is not going to make an edit. This isn't like Too Hot for TV. Once I truncate silence, it'll be like, Chris just found that right away.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it worked that way in real life. Oh yeah, so one thing too, so Earthspark and the Mainline Rise of the Beast stuff is a completely separate team from Mark, Evan, Sam, and all them. A couple of them work out in Los Angeles, but it is a completely different team. So if you think that Earthspark toys or the Mainline Rise of the Beast stuff looks and feels very different from the Generations kind of stuff, there's a very good reason for that. Completely different people work on that. The engineering, of course, still goes through Takara, but design and concepting is their own team. And there was some talk of trying to organize maybe another roundtable conference with that team to talk about at least the Earthspark stuff, if not the Rise of the Beast stuff. But that is something that they're becoming conscious of, that like we kind of want to talk to them too. We want to hear about that stuff. It's not just the collector line stuff. Let's see. That's where they revealed Origins Jazz.
That was about the end of it then.
Yeah, just about. There was a few questions after that point. By the time they did the Origins Jazz reveal, everyone had a turn to ask a question. And then there was still a little time left. So just whoever could kind of get in there was, free to ask any follow-up questions they had. So one was about how sometimes the exclusive reveals are just like, the stuff's in the store, go buy it. There's no like fanfare ahead of time. So a lot of that seems to be that the retailers don't want advance warning or fanfare for like online presence of that because they want the foot traffic in the stores, which makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
The other thing with that too, like there's some that don't do pre-orders like Walgreens. So, there's no like advance warning with Minerva because it's just when they get it in stock in their centers to be on the website, it's there. There's no pre-order period for that because Walgreens is not set up to do that. Oh, and yeah, here's an important one too. Velocitron Hot Rod. There is currently no plans for Walmart or anyone else to carry Velocitron Voyager toy colors Hot Rod. It's not canceled per se, like they're not saying it's not going to come out, but there is no plan for it right now. And for the spring product season, the exclusives are focused on Rise of the Beasts. So I was talking with JT Prime in the Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, just before we went live. And he tries to track when stuff comes in port in the US. And as far as he knows, Velocitron Hot Rod, that assortment never came into port in the US. So right now, it's not even clear if that toy actually got manufactured beyond like what handful of samples were used for product photography and engineering pilots to make sure everything worked right. So either Velocitron Hot Rod technically doesn't exist beyond those samples, or it's something where there is cases and cases of them sitting in a warehouse somewhere, probably overseas still, and they're going to end up at Ollie's in like a year.
Oh.
But at this point, it doesn't seem like Walmart has any plans of carrying that. Which, at the time that was revealed, we were complaining like, why wasn't that Sideburn? And now I'm glad it wasn't, because that would have been sad to have that canceled.
Oh, that would have been heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Right? There is also another question, and just the answer, part of the answer is interesting for this, where Ben talks about the relationship with Hasbro Pulse in kind of loose terms, where, yeah, Hasbro Pulse is Hasbro's own store, but they also are a store and can still say to Hasbro for a product proposal, like, no, we don't think we're going to sell enough of that. We don't want it. We're not going to do that. So just because it's Hasbro's store doesn't mean Hasbro can come up with any exclusive idea and tell them to carry it as their exclusive. Like, they have right of refusal on that.
So we've talked about this before. I was thinking that Hasbro Pulse was a third party.
Yeah, and I think that is the case.
It is.
Okay. But I was going to say, my prior company, we produced a product, but we also had a retail location. And the retail location was autonomous enough to say, no, we're not going to carry that, because they have their own profit and loss, their P&L
right.
to worry about. So, like, even if it was like Hasbro owned, I could still see them saying no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we're pretty confident that Hasbro Pulse is a contracted logistics company, basically, that handles the store operations for them. And yeah, they can say, no, we don't want to do this. Like, they have that power still in their relationship. But, like, a lot of the answers are things that you could reasonably infer just from kind of watching what goes on and kind of paying attention to things. But, like, it's so valuable to me to have so much of this just be, like, directly said by them or strongly indicated on the record, so that we don't have to make those inferences. Like, we hear it straight from them. And, like, that was one of the best parts of this. Just a lot of stuff being confirmed and laid out there in, like, very non-uncertain terms. So yeah, I had a really good time with this, actually.
Good.
The call lasted about 2 hours. The reveal of Origins Jazz was a really fun bonus. Nobody was expecting that. And it was just like a very, very, very relaxed time. Very fun.
That's awesome.
Were there any questions about HasLab or Titan figures?
No. So we did have a couple of other questions on our list, just in case there was time for them, but I was only able to get the one question in before they had to wrap up so that Ben could go home. He had to so I think everybody else was participating from their home offices. Ben actually had to come into the Hasbro offices to their studio because he needed the package sample of Origins Jazz to show us.
Ah, cool. Okay. Thanks, Chris. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a good time. Thanks for sending me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And of course, thanks to Hasbro for inviting us in the first place, and also to the design team for taking time out to hang with all of us.
Yeah, that's.
If you want the longer form recap, and yes, there is a longer form recap than what I just went through, go check out the News Desk special report on the RC News Desk feed or at tfradio.net/news. We'll have a link to that in the show notes.
Cool. Moving on to the second news item. Studio Series Snarl leaked. I like it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, when this first dropped, we were having some conversations on Discord about this, because this is the first one where all of the gold parts are not painted gold.
And it's noticeable.
It is, but it's also understandable, because look at all of the fins.
Yeah, he has a lot more gold than the other Dinobots.
Well, yeah, so there's a lot more gold on there, and also those plates are definitely not all the same plastic color underneath. I am 99% sure that those are solid pieces with those body panels that they're attached to. They're not like insert pieces.
Speaking of gold, my G2 slingshot died this week.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm a little nervous.
I saw that. I poured one out for him.
So
well, all the Studio Series Dinobots should be fine, because the gold on them is all paint surfaces.
Yeah.
With the exception of Snarl here, who has some mustard surfaces. But that's not gold plastic. So.
It looks like some of it's gold. Like the tail looks like it's gold.
Yes. My theory on this is that they focused the gold paint on the plates, because if they didn't, the plates would be red and gray alternatingly. And they also focused on what would be most visible in robot mode. So if you look at, I think there's a screenshot of the back of Snarl, and you can see there's insert plates on the inside halves of the tail so that they're not hollow, and those have been painted gold too, even though they're on the back and they're invisible in the Dino mode. So that had to be a robot mode consideration.
Yeah.
And all of the mustard yellow surfaces are hidden when it's a robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it weren't for the gold paint, I'd almost have expected those plates on the tail to be softer plastic, but I don't think that would take to the gold paint quite right.
Probably not. Softer plastic often doesn't paint well.
Yeah.
So I don't want to jump away from Snarl, but what do we think? Are we still thinking that, or do we know yet that Swoop is a leader?
I don't think we know anything specific about that. It's not on the ticket for this year.
Like I think it's going to be because of the wings.
I think he's going to be too. Yeah.
I think
makes
they
sense.
they might include like a flight stand or something with it if they can.
So my thinking with this is, if Swoop's going to be a little bit smaller, but the wings are going to take up some of that mass, they might also use some extra space in there to give some of the other Dinobot weapons that didn't come with the first releases.
Oh, yeah, swords.
Makes sense.
Yeah, swords for some, guns for others. That'd be a pretty easy way to pad that out if they have the extra like head space in the development.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the QC after Sludge. I don't want to play Russian roulette giving a Snarl that just doesn't fall apart if you look at him cross-eyed.
I mean, on the plus side, Snarl doesn't have the same kind of like body plates that have to be hinged. So that's, that's a major point of failure removed right there. You can't really predict like the leg joints so much, but hopefully, that's like a one-off issue with Sludge.
Yeah, it's just, well, again, it could be as important as Sludge is to me, having been my first Transformer, I may have put undue expectations on that figure.
Right.
But after how solid Grimlock and to a lesser degree Slag was, Sludge was a major letdown.
Did you ever get another one? Because I know other people, myself included, didn't have QC quite as bad as yours.
Yeah, mine would be quite nice.
My second one was good.
Yeah, I got a second one, and so the first one I've got is basically in the box. The second one came in for parts, or if something breaks, at least I've got.
Mine's Dyno mode. It's dedicated Dyno mode. I don't have double. I didn't buy double Dinobots, and I'm kind of regretting that now, considering the aftermarket on Grimlock and Slag.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be honest, I've got the fans' toys, so I mean, I've got some really good interpretations of them and the Studio Series, so I'm happy with what I've got.
I mean, we're apparently getting reuses of Studio Series Grimlock in other decos, so I would not rule out seeing some kind of an extra run of just the normal colors come up.
Yeah, I want G2 Dino. I want all 5 G2 Dinobots with Swoop and Sludge in their prototype never made colors. I want all 5, please.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, I mean, they're but they're also multiple colors in G2.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it would be what, like 8-9 figures really if they did it right. If they did it right.
Yeah.
8 or 9 liter class.
I know, right?
See, that would be the thing if they were going to do like a second Transformers HasLab in the year, would be not a new figure, but like, here's the set of these recolors that we can't put at retail, but if 2,000 of you jump on this at this price, we can get these made and you can have them.
Yeah.
I would buy double sets of those for. I would buy 2 sets for sure. If we got G2 Dinobots, I still want a Killing Jar set too, but that will probably never happen too.
I also pitched when we were talking about Soundwave in the conference call, like, do the Marvel Colors variation where he's purple and retool the head to have a mouth.
Yes. We'd buy that. First look at Rise of the Beast, Voyager, Mainline, Optimus Prime, and Rhinox.
Yeah, so these are not the Studio Series toys. I want to stress that these are not the Studio Series ones.
Oh, thank goodness, because I'm like, wow, he looks small in that comparison photo.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller than Studio Series 38.
I was not paying attention to the photo beside of the box. What
Oh
the hell?
wow, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, is this Kiss Players?
Apologies for that. God, it is small. It looks nice though, but it's small.
It
Yeah.
does. It does look nice. I like his proportions in toy mode, really robot mode.
Wait, is he a
The
leader
back's all
class?
No, it's
gray.
Voyager.
Okay.
Now is the Studio Series Rhinox is the Kingdom Rhinox tweaked, right? I'm having a lot of difficulty keeping what figures in which line.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen Studio Series Rhinox yet.
What do you think of the box? The Rise of the Beast box. Minus the window issues, of course.
Looks pretty good.
I mean, I don't feel like it's going to stand out strongly on the shelf.
Is that the same liner from Kingdom, like in the back? It's probably not. Like the backer behind the toy.
I think it just looks similar.
Just boring.
It's kind of like this worked for Animal Transformers before.
Yeah. I find this very boring.
I think that the colors on the toys look kind of boring. Like Rhinox is
Kind of
like,
monochrome.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the Beast figures seem to be a little bit more monochromatic than I would like, but
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of plastic colors to go around either, judging by the Optimus, which has a lot of like the lower body painted on some surfaces, but it's like all gray plastic underneath.
And
So
the back's all gray plastic.
So Rhinox specifically, and I don't know if I noticed this on any of the other characters, but it looks like there's a fleshy color and then like exposed robotic parts showing through. Did we see that like motif on like any of these other toys?
I think there was like some chains visible on Rhinox. I didn't pick out like machine parts in particular.
Well, if you look at his head specifically, like there is brown parts all around, which I'm assuming is supposed to be fur or whatever, and then like metallic plates and stuff like around the eyes and the side of the head that's exposed.
I mean, if you look at the trailer, they're not entirely exactly organic in their beast modes anyway. They are still robotic looking. So
yeah, it's neat. I mean, it's differentiated definitely from like the classic Rhinox appearance. I mean, I wish it was closer, at least in color. But like I guess I do appreciate the fact that they're going for something different here.
yeah, different is nice.
Yeah. I mean, it looks closer to what I would want than, say, the early Bayverse G1 characters. It's not like as off and shocking as those were.
Yeah, especially in the mainline stuff, you can really see the design lineage. It's not like super jarring.
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh. In-hand photos of Metalhawk and Twincast.
I love them so much.
Yeah,
They
I do
look
too.
good.
And there is one photo in this of Twincast with the chest door open where you can actually see clearly that it is red. And the inside of the torso is blue still.
Oh, yeah, here's that photo.
Yeah, Metalhawk looks pretty good.
It
Yeah.
really does.
So these actually have come out at specialty stores, particularly in Canada. So these were legitimately obtained. And some quantity of these were in port in the US well before the Transformers Tuesday reveal, like a month or two before.
Yeah, I think Big Bad Toy Store got a small quantity of these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
mine-
fulfilled some pre-orders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine are in my pile of loot. I canceled my second set of Dungeons and Dragons figures to get those.
So these are in your pile of loot and you haven't shipped them?
No, because I've got some other stuff that's about ready to come. The way the dates are, if I don't get a notification by the end of next week, I will ship them.
Oh man, I would want them now.
I do, but it's like the other stuff is like it'll be arriving within like 2 weeks, and that was a week ago. So
Don, it's only $4. It's $2 per
Well,
figure.
I mean, Don's not going to open them for like 2 years anyway.
That's true.
I mean, here's the
Yeah.
thing: I don't have anywhere to put them. You see all the stuff behind me?
No, Don, we don't.
No, Don, we don't.
Oh,
The
that's
podcast
right.
listeners don't either.
That's right. I forgot my camera was off. I have boxes and all the stuff I've showed off on what we got this week for the past 2 months is now in a cardboard box because I have nowhere to open it.
Welcome
I
to
have
the
nowhere to
club.
store it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know?
I feel you.
there's too much stuff coming out. We need
You've
less.
seen what it looked like when Don's camera was on. He has all of your rooms behind him. There's just no way he has
Yeah.
space for anything new.
Okay.
Yes, somewhere in one of those boxes behind him, he's got his old apartment still too.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's see here. 2023. I'm skipping the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. 2023 selects and other exclusives from our pal JT Prime. Okay. Windsweeper.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Smart Money says it's going to be a needle nose.
Needle
retool.
nose, yeah.
Yeah.
And Antagony.
Yeah, so we had Antagony on the list last year,
Yeah.
like all year. And what we heard at that time was basically it was homeless. So they have actually managed to get that set up for something now. They put in selects. Fractal and Pack Rat are still missing in action.
Yeah.
Hopefully somehow that still materializes somewhere. Because then we will have like the majority of 3H era BotCon exclusives
That's awesome.
revisited in current toys.
Now, Chris, where's this info coming from? What was this
JT
again?
Prime.
Okay, sorry. Okay, the audio cut out there for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, Deluxe G1 Headmaster.
Yeah, I have no insight on that one.
Yeah. So
I'm excited. More headmasters. Bring them.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so it's obviously a deluxe. It says deluxe. There's 8 per case. Some people are kind of hoping that's the top spin to go with Amazon Twin Twist from last year.
Oh,
I was
that would be
wondering that.
awesome.
like other than that, what's left? Headmaster Juniors.
Potentially. The only problem with that is, what molds do they use?
Yeah.
Oh, it's selects.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
select.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, yeah.
recolors, maybe a little bit of retool if the stuff was on the molds already, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we're kind of hoping like that might be our top spin finally, and we'll have that
Yeah, we
Diaclone.
need
That would be
jump
great.
into
Yeah.
Yeah.
that should
I
be
mean,
it.
Mark, when he was talking about Twin Twist last year, was definitely motivated to get top spin out there too. So if this was the way to do it, I wouldn't be surprised.
What's the Transgen Fan Fest?
Okay, so this section is recent arrivals in U.S. port, which means stuff that's actually, come off the boat already. We don't know what this is. FanFest, obviously, that suggests it's, an exclusive they're going to debut during the next Pulse FanFest, which would be March or maybe April.
So
April-ish.
4 per case. So that would be what? Voyager?
Bigger than Voyager.
Yeah.
Bigger than Voyager, because
Oh.
Antagony is a Voyager, and there's 6 per case of that.
Leader. Leader's
So,
usually
yes.
2 per case.
Leader's 2 per case.
Yeah, so it's gonna be something irregular between those points. I mean, maybe the FanFest thing is our Fractal and Pack Rat. Who knows?
I'll point out
Yeah.
that at the bottom of the list is the Movie 7 Jungle Mission Pack 1, which is also 4 per case, so it could be some kind of multi-pack.
And I think someone said that Jungle Mission Pack is where that deluxe size movie Cheetor is going.
Ah, okay.
Let's see here. Generation Legacy Deluxe Medics. So there's the Medics. That's in
Yeah,
port.
we saw that
Yeah.
we saw that leaked a month or two ago. I
Yeah.
probably more like
Yeah.
2. Yeah, so that seems like it's going to be a Walgreens exclusive. It's come in port, but being a Walgreens exclusive, it may just sit in a warehouse somewhere for most of the next year.
Which I'm surprised that's a Walgreens exclusive, because we had heard that the person who made the deals with that had left the company.
Oh.
And that like nobody else has Walgreens exclusives coming up this year.
This may have been, put in
Like,
motion
yeah,
before
before
those
everything.
conditions changed.
Yeah.
that's interesting. Did I miss something? Was there anything else?
No, I think that covers all this.
Okay, so this one's interesting to me, and more art gallery offering Transformers VHS-inspired poster and prints.
I was all excited until I went and looked and realized that it was not based on FHE covers.
It is not.
That's the exact same thing. I was going to tweet this to Brian, and then when I saw that it wasn't, I thought, no, he may not be interested.
I'm not. I'm not. But at the same time, I appreciate that they're doing it.
I find it interesting, but it does not live up to what I was thinking when I read the headline.
Right. I mean, I always did think some of the brands of VHS tapes and their slip covers were kind of like, it was interesting looking design. It was visually interesting. Yeah. And having that adapted into, Transformers theming is, again, interesting. I don't know that this is something I would necessarily want to put on my wall, but I could kind of see yeah, it's almost there. It's something that does scratch an itch in my brain.
This is something I would rather buy at an Artist Alley at TFCon than pay a licensing fee to whatever.
Yeah.
So the big poster is about $50, and I think the set of 4 prints is closer to $40.
Really, this is more like something I would like and retweet on Twitter. That somebody posted, look what this cool thing I did. Oh yeah, that is cool. Like and retweet.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it's a missed opportunity that for those figures that have Japanese serial numbers, that they don't have those on the designs instead of just T86 universally across them.
Yeah. So I was going through all my. If you've watching the video, you can see I've been doing work in the back, and I'm going through all my box Japanese stuff, and I'm like, oh, what gaps do I have between the numbers? And I'm like, oh, I have numbers 301, 302, and 304. I guess I need to get 303 next. So I'm actually trying to make some purchase decisions on just based on the gaps that I have in the numbering system.
What is C303?
Oh gosh, let me tell you.
I just thought tell us so we can go run up the prices on eBay.
Oh no, C303. C303. I don't have C303. You know why? You know what C303 is?
No, I don't. That's the whole reason we're on this.
But I have I have Ghost Shooter. I have Ghost Shooter. I don't have Minerva. So
I just thought of something I want. Now I can't unthink it. Select Marvel comics from the G1 run, done as Family Home Entertainment VHS covers, like the comic was a VHS, and the cover done in that artwork for that comic. It's now I want that.
Yeah, so Ghost Shooter's 301, and I have Siren or something in there too. It may be 302. I don't know. And yeah, the 303 is Minerva, so there's no chance anytime soon.
Yeah,
no, get that. No. Yeah, I don't even know where one is for sale.
Right.
So it's not oh, I just can't buy it. It's not only can I not buy it, I can't find it.
Yeah.
So oh well. What else? Okay, Transformers desk mats from Clackies. So Chris and I were talking about the ones we liked on this, and I will say there's 3.5 that I like.
I like the Autobot battle scene one. That made the transition best to this format.
I like the retro battle, the Decepticon retro battle. I like the Grimlock because that looks like something off of that looks like that might have been on a pencil box or Underoos or something.
It looks to me like it's colorized images from the original instruction sheet.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, but you would see something like that on licensed products in the 80s.
Yeah, I can see that. It does kind of look like 80s control art when you get down to it.
Yeah, and I of course, the Optimus Prime. Basically, it's like a reinterpretation of the Transformers Will Return. Scene.
The truck.
I was kind of thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the truck. I do. That's the one I like, and
that's it. Those 4.
Like you said, the Decepticon retro battle is pretty nice. It looks like the colors came out decent on that. The colors on the retro battle for the Autobots seem a little off.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like,
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Like, not that the others are bad. I just don't think I would buy them. But like, if I would seriously consider buying one of these, I don't know which one I would get. But like, it would be somewhere probably between the Grimlock and the Optimus. Okay, let's see here. Anything else news-wise? One more. Oh, I was looking at this. Icon Heroes Soundblaster business card holder. So
not particularly an accurate description, I don't think.
No, it's so yeah, the colors are off and everything, but you know what? I'd love to have a Soundwave business card holder, even though I haven't had a new business card purchase since 2005.
I assume there is a Soundwave version since this is an exclusive to Icon Heroes shop.
Yeah. I haven't like at work. I haven't had a business card since 2006. I just never seen the value in them, so I'd never order one. But like if I had this, I would definitely order business cards. Oh, I need to show it.
See, they also make one in gold, which
the gold is off. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's not a very good shade of gold. So
yeah.
Some shades of gold are actually just metallic brown, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that were more authentic, the color, I'd probably get it, and I'd probably order business cards.
I mean, you could just get that and put a little picture of your family in there too.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, as far as business cards go, my job literally is to support like 1,000 people that are remote, virtual. Like everybody on my team, save one person, is virtual. So like I would have nobody to give business cards to ever. So, but I would have them, and I would have Soundwave holding them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Let's jump to what we got this week. Diecast, what'd you get?
All right. I got a box from Entertainment Earth, and I got super excited because I thought it was the Super 7 Unicron. But it turned out to be the Super 7 Sharkticon. Because I needed to buy enough to get free shipping. So I got the Sharkticon and I got Unicron. But they only ship Sharkticon.
That looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's not bad.
I don't even remember that being a thing.
Me neither. So there's like $3 or $4? I would probably buy 100 of them.
Right?
No, they're 20.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Yeah.
It does look nice, though, especially for a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's no surprise that we don't remember them because all we paid attention to that day was Unicron.
Yeah, and I had, like I said, I needed to get another one to get free shipping. So hopefully the Unicron is not far behind.
Well, the good thing is...
So you paid $20 for that to avoid paying $4 for shipping.
No.
Entertainment Earth, their base shipping is like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
because Entertainment Earth bases their shipping prices on the value of the order, not on like actual shipping weight or distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That explains why a purchase that I made this past week that I'll have next week cost me $80 to ship. Even though
you spent too much money.
Even though it's £5. It was not from Entertainment Earth, it was from somebody else. Go ahead, Don, you've been trying to speak.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying the good thing is the reactions tend to go on sale at Amazon, tfradio.net/Amazon.
Correct.
Several, throughout the year. And when these go on sale, you could probably it'd be almost like buy two, get one. So if you wanted a couple of Sharkticons and the Quintesson on your shelf, it might scale well with some of the other smaller figures in your collection. So just watch your Amazon page, use our link, and you'll probably pick them up down the road for at least a little bit less than retail.
So in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, we haven't plugged it this week, have we?
I did a little bit.
So Blade said, Matt said, I didn't know that was a thing. And Blade was like, if it wasn't for the price, I would swear that I could hear him clicking add to cart right now. Yeah, I'm there.
It's tempting.
Cool. What else did I cast?
That's it.
Oh wow. Matt.
I got Scraphook
Oh, nice.
Jealous.
from Hasbro Pulse.
Come in a baggie.
No,
No,
Hasbro Pulse.
In a baggie. Chris, you got
No.
in a baggie, right?
Yeah.
No, I really, really like him. He is a little bit on the small side. I was surprised about that, but he's a really good figure. Transformation's fun. Great. I can't wait to get a couple more Junkions in hand and start swapping parts. His joints are a little bit tight in some spaces, and his anytime I try to move his right elbow, it kind of pops off the joint, which is not one of the spots it's supposed to separate at.
I had the same thing happen.
Yeah, it's like a friction hinge, but I mean that's all I can say about it. That's not glowingly positive. Like I will definitely get at least one more Scraphook,
Nice.
and I desperately want to see like Crash Bar and Axle Grease, and I hope they're this good. So that's the only thing I got this week. I did, however, finally put Menasor together after having breakdown for like 3 weeks.
What do you think?
And like for not liking Wild Rider and Breakdown very much, like Menasor completed totally makes up for everything else. Like super solid, absolutely great. The joints are super tight. Just the arm transformations when you put them on and they separate seamlessly. It is miraculous. I love this thing so much. I hope they do like another combiner sometime down the road. I don't like that it takes a year to complete, but it's worth it when it's done.
So I haven't looked at photos. Like, did you set it beside of like one of your Combiner Wars figures? Your Combiner Wars combiners? Do they match
Why would
up?
you want to do something so sad?
Well, I mean, you want to.
No, I don't have one handy, but judging by the shelf space they take up, they're pretty comparable in height.
Cool. Like my problem with Menasor, the G1 Menasor, is always a little shorter than most of the others.
He looks like he's a little bit taller than Combiner Wars Menasor.
Sweet.
Not much, just a little bit.
Well, my G1 Menasor, I'm looking at right now. He's shorter than Computron, who he's in front of, and he's also got he's leaning forward. I don't remember if that was normal or not.
Yeah, I mean, G1 Menasor was, I think, the smallest of the Scramble City.
Yeah.
Oh,
combiners
Yeah, he
by
was
far.
by a good bit.
Yeah, I'd forgotten. I actually I'll never forget, but how much I just hate Superion as a combiner. G1 Superion. Combiner War Superion, though, is A-okay.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it defies the laws of nature, really.
Yeah. Now I don't have a good work. I don't have a G2 Superion anymore because of Slingshot.
No. Also, I want to send a shout out to Kenobi on Twitter. He posted me a link to a Dead End video on YouTube that showed me how to get the back to close together.
Oh, cool.
Better in car mode. Like you have to push this piece in, like force it in until there's an ungodly snap. And then you can squeeze the back end together. And it's held for several days. So
Sweet.
thanks for pointing me in the right direction.
Cool. Rob?
I got nothing this week.
Chris?
No, I was on a Hasbro call instead.
Oh, okay. Don?
Yeah, I picked up a couple of things. Off topic, I went out last Saturday. Christy and I did a toy crawl out just right down in Reidsville, right down the road. We want to get out of town without making a big production of it. Stop by both Walmarts. One of the Walmarts I found the Future Foundation Matt, the Future Foundation Spider-Man in the stealth suit on clearance.
Sorry.
Well, it's a nice looking suit, and it was $9 on clearance.
I heard there's a lot of paint issues with that one.
Oh, really? Okay. It's just I have no connection to this version of the character. It's just a really great looking suit, so I thought I'd pick it up. And they also had Con on clearance as well from the new Playmates line.
Yep.
So I picked the.
My Walmarts all have like way too many of those figures. Like they're not selling.
Yeah, this was like $7 on clearance. It was
man.
about half
Yeah.
price. That's the only one I really wanted from the line.
I've got them all. I love them.
Yeah. The last off topic I got, Brian, the Sergeant Slaughter you got, was that the Action Force Sergeant Slaughter? Is that the one that was on BBTS?
Yes. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it was.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking is someone had posted a picture of Zatara from Classified with one of their figures from Action Force Pandora. And I picked up that figure because I think she'll make a great Dreadnought for whenever I get my G.I. Joe Cobra shelf done
So
up.
are you saying Zatanna? I mean, Zatara.
Zorana.
Zorana.
Sorry.
You got me confused now, too.
Sorry, Zorana. But I picked up their Pandora character because I think she'll make a great addition to the Cobra shelf.
The Sergeant Slaughter that I got is actually not that bad. It's not Classified Sergeant Slaughter, which is the greatest action figure of all time, but it's pretty good.
Right. They may eventually make a Mr. T action figure, and you can have both on the show at the same time. So I got her. I also got Scraphook. Looking forward to opening him.
Where did you get Scraphook?
Pulse as well.
Okay.
Thanks to when Rob mentioned it last week, I started looking around on eBay, and I too found Super 7 Unicron for less than retail with free shipping. It was $20 with free shipping, so I went ahead and grabbed one of those. I thought that would be a nice to go by beside HasLab Unicron. And when I did that toy crawl last week, I did not find Hot Rod, but I did find Starscream. So, and I had a $15. I had a $15 Walmart gift card, and I thought, well, it's a nice box. I love the artwork, and I don't think my Starscream is complete anymore after 30 years plus. So it's nice to have a complete Starscream, and it's a nice box. So
I mean, for 20 or less, I would probably pick that up too, because I don't have a G1 Starscream, and I've seen the out of box pictures. That looks really, really nice, even though on some level it goes against all of my sensibilities.
Okay, maybe I'll run to Walmart and go get it.
Yeah, if you see a Hot Rod, let's pick one up for me.
They did not have Hot Rod, but they
somebody hit up both of my Walmarts and bought all the Hot Rods.
Yeah.
I don't think Hot Rod has actually shown up in the US yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because
I think they are shipping in their own cases.
Well, yeah, because the lady, because I asked the lady working in toys, because the shelf was set, but the spot was empty. So I asked them, can you scan the tag if you happen to have any in the back? It's a long shot that's actually in a location, but there was, and she brought out, and it was a full case of Starscreams of 4. So supposedly my Hot Rod is supposed to be arriving the 21st, but that's being pushed back again. So I don't know.
At least the Magenta G1 Hot Rod reissue, we know for sure that was made and exists because people in the UK have them legitimately. So it's not vaporware like the Velocitron Hot Rod.
Yeah, they've had those for like a month or two now.
Yeah, it will hit the stores or at least the website. It's just not there yet.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the stores taking their time doing the resets, because outside of the holidays, toys is always the last place to get any kind of attention from a store.
Cool. Anything else, Don?
No, that's it.
Okay, so I got two things, not super brand new, one's newer, but I finally got Leader Class Transmetal 2 Megatron, which is one of the figures that I had no minimal desire for, but I'm like, I might as well get it, and it is flipping awesome. The pictures and everything, I didn't care for it, but in hand, it's pretty amazing. It's actually really nice. I mean, the joints are nice on it. It poses really well. A lot of care went into this. Those
wings look impressive.
They are impressive. A lot of care went into this toy. You can tell. It's it's not the same as Transmetal 2 Megatron, which is my least favorite version of Megatron from Beast Wars.
Yeah, that was a disappointing toy.
Yeah, but this is better, and I like it.
I think this is the one. I think Sam Smith on his Instagram said once that the model file for that was gigabytes because of all the surface detail that they put on it.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
The other thing I got is the best version of Lao Convoy ever.
The Robot Masters?
No. I like it better than the Robot Master version. But Leo Prime, I guess. I'm not going to call it Leo Prime, but the Voyager toy from Legacy Evolution. It's really nice, actually. It looks really great. It is like it doesn't do like all the stuff, or nearly. It doesn't try to do as much as the original Beast Wars second toy does, but it's so much nicer. It looks just so much better. That's such a horrible toy, and this is not. It's not
is it good in lion mode?
Well, I haven't gotten that far. I never I don't keep Lion Convoy in lion mode either.
It looks like there's a lot of stuff hanging off of the back there.
But that's Lion Convoy. He has a lot of stuff hanging off. It's kind of like
there's every reason not to put the original Leo Convoy in beast mode. It's terrible.
Yeah. So like I think of Lio Convoy and all his kibble and Big Convoy and all of his kibble, kind of like, Prowl and Blue Streak and the G1 characters. Like they had to do something with like the doors, so they made wings and stuff. I think of all the kibble here that it's nicely integrated in a really horribly kibbly way, but with the character design, so I can live with it.
It's appropriate, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's appropriate considering the era from which the original was designed. Like if they were to produce like a Beast Wars,
go ahead and justify that to yourself all you want.
Yeah, like if they were to produce a Beast Wars Neo toy or a Robots in Disguise, car robots, car, it's gonna have it to be right. It would have to have a ton of kibble hanging off of it.
I mean, the way they're designing Studio Series these days, like that's not gonna be such a stretch for them.
Yeah. So, but I really like it. It's not like the perfect toy. It is by no means as nice as Megatron, but it's certainly better than its forebears. And I think that's all I got this week, other than like finally opening some stuff that I've been trying to get to for a while. But
oh yeah, Blade Raider says that it's like Beast Wars Inferno's open butt. It's part of the silhouette that makes him him.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. That's true. So I want to thank our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio. Patrons get an ad-free version of the podcast at a higher bit rate with a weekly, assuming we actually have a pre-show, but a weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast. If Don says something too hot for airing in the public feed, we'll have an unedited version of the show, but that only happens maybe once every couple months. You get Hot 5 podcast a week early. Patrons at the touch tier get to be on Hot 5, and patrons at the touch tier on the show each week are mentioned and are listed at tfradio.net/credits. So, that's a pretty good deal, actually. If I wasn't like running the Patreon, I would like sign up for the Patreon. So, but you can join at patreon.com/tfradio. And I'm going to mention the patrons at the touch tier right now, going to tfradio.net/credits. Kevin Dorsey, AJ, Eric Griffin, Tyrell Gwynn, Rick Mahurin, Ryan Bona, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Ness, Joey Russell, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Jay Klein Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lucia, and Sean Bratton. If you want to be mentioned on the show each week with these fine people and also want to be on History on the 5 with Rob, sign up at the touch tier at patreon.com/tfradio. Oh, man. Okay, you can find all of our crap at tfradio.net. All of our stuff's there. Years worth of the podcast going back to the 1990s. I was thinking about this last night. I always say we're the original Transformers internet radio show, original Transformers podcast, one of the world's first podcasts. We're the first toy podcast ever.
Yeah,
we're the oldest toy podcast in the world. We should just say
we should have been leaning into that for the last 10 or 15 years.
We should have been leaning into that for years. Yeah, we're the world's oldest toy podcast. We're the world's nearly oldest podcast. So that's what we should lean into. So. Mm-hmm. You can find stuff going back to the 1990s at tfradio.net. Barely the 1990s, but the 1990s, so it's technically true.
For better or worse.
Yeah, there's a couple months in the 90s there.
I wouldn't recommend them, but, for completeness sake.
Oh.
Hey, I was there. I know
some
what I'm
of them are not that great, but some of them are interesting. Yeah, I would never encourage you to actually go back and listen to some of those.
No.
Hey, this is Radio Free Cybertron. I'm Brian, and here I want to talk to you about some toys this week.
The 2001 stretch, I think, was generally pretty good.
Yeah. But you can find us on Twitter, I think, at TF Radio.
If Twitter's working at that given moment.
Yes.
Yeah, on Instagram at TF Podcast. You can find all of our stuff in YouTube as well at youtube.com/ I think it's Radio Free Cybertron. Just find it there. So we've changed the way that our live stream goes. So if you want to get notifications, and you should, you need to subscribe. And last week I disappointed Jared because the chat wasn't working. It is working right now. I just logged into it. Sorry, on YouTube. Apparently our account got flagged as made for kids again.
This happens from time to time, and we fix it as soon as we can. But
yeah, but the chat wasn't working because of that. But I fixed it, and Jared's in there right now. So, but yeah, we prefer everybody chat along at tfradio.net/Discord. But our YouTube chat is pretty active when we have a live stream. So,
and when we can have a YouTube chat.
Yeah. So, let's see here. You can find me at bkilby on Twitter, Brian Kilby on Instagram, briankilby.com. Haven't had time to do much in the way of other podcast stuff lately. Just been super busy with kids and, work and stuff. But most everything I do is at briankilby.com. We were supposed to have an episode of RPG Lessons Learned last Wednesday. So it's a week late. I just haven't had a chance to post it yet. But that podcast is back, and Dusty has been talking about RPG stuff, and that was always a fun podcast and a one that people liked. And so it's not a full-time deal now because we just don't have time to produce it. But Dusty is producing episodes right now, and the most recent one should be posted here in a day or two.
Did he go off about the Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons thing?
No, Dusty doesn't go off about anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not his style. Like, I don't think he cares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you can find that at tfradio.net once I post it, as well as some upcoming episodes of History on the Fives. Rob Springer's not here. You can find him at Robo Rob Springer on Twitter. John DeLudo not here. He is at that John D everywhere. And Don, you're like on the internet, right?
Yeah, I can be reached on Twitter, give or take, at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Chris.
Look upon my works at playwithphotography.com and Despair, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that. If you want to get in touch with me directly, I'm on the Discord channel all the time, tfradio.net/Discord. So just go in there and tag me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes I'm looking at other stuff.
Yeah, Rob.
I'm on Twitter when TweetDeck is working at Rob Flails.
I think it's working again.
Yeah, it does seem to be working again for the moment. So yeah, when TweetDeck is working, I may be there at Rob Flails. That's for Flail Throughs, my YouTube account. Still Gundam Battle Operation 2 at the moment, and yeah, not looking at having much more in the way of spare time right now. So GBO2 for a while yet. If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can throw money at me for it, and I will take requests for specific rounds or what have you. And I've got a wish list at tfradio.net/playlist if you'd rather just get me stuff for various reasons.
Cool. Diecast?
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2, Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast, and see my reviews at youtube.com/RFC reviews.
Cool. Okay. Well, I guess that's it.
Captain Rufus says he's been listening so long he's nostalgic for the computer. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. The computer actually came back in a way on the Happy Daily podcast. In a way. Recently. Okay. Cool. Okay, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye everybody.
Take care.
Have a good evening, y'all.
Yeah, there was a that text to speech engine that I was using for
Recording stopped.
my voice and for Don. I actually recorded some podcasts using that. I actually ended up canceling that service because it was $30 a month and it wasn't worth it for what I was getting out of it, but it was still pretty cool.
Do you need my audio?
No. And it's going to take it'll change, like, so I've gone to a new workflow.
Yeah.
Because for like since we've gone to Zoom, I've been converting everything over to Wave before importing it into Audacity.
Okay.
This is time for sausage making.
Yeah.
But I actually finally configured Audacity to where it'll take the file directly from Zoom without having to convert.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes out at like 32. It comes out at like 32.1 or whatever the frequency, whatever it is.
Sampling rate.
Not the sampling rate. Yeah, the sampling rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm half tired. I have sleep.
Yeah.
So, and then what you sent me is at 44.1. So
either 44.1 or 48.
Yeah. So I didn't first convert. I didn't resample everything to 44.1.
Mm-hmm.
And it just drifted off slightly because of that.
Yeah, of course.
But like checking it and looking over and everything, like spot checking it, I didn't catch it because it wasn't like way off. It was just slightly off.
It was just off enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So just off enough that people just thought you were being rude and not that something was broken.
Which, is not that far out of the realm of possibility. Also, if you remind me next time, I can change the sampling rate on my recording before I start it next week, if that would make it easier.
So Jacob's like, why aren't you using Audition or Pro Tools? I'm not paying for Audition. And I'm not paying for Pro Tools, even though I think I have I've never liked Pro Tools. It's overkill for what I do. So Audacity is fine for what I do. I did this on Gold Wave until like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you remember I actually did the editing on one chunk of the movie parody. I did that in Gold Wave.
Yeah, but Audacity is fine for what I do. I mean, I had up until a couple years ago, I had Audition and I tried to switch over and I don't need it. And I hate Pro Tools.
Yeah, I mean, like I have Photoshop and Lightroom through Creative Cloud. But that's because those are $10 per month. I buy the year in advance, but like to get the package that has Audition and stuff in it, way more expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when Adobe programs, especially the older versions, are just so easy to pirate. Not that I necessarily would condone such a thing, or for legal purposes, not admit to doing so myself.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don. I bought another Unicron.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I would like to have one to open, but I think you'll look just fine there in the package beside HasLab.
I gotta have one to open.
I'm thinking about opening mine.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet.
Just the packaging looks so great. It's just, I mean, that's mostly why I bought all the reactions I've done is I haven't paid retail for most of them. I've waited to clearance and sales and stuff, but that's just such an over the top card art.
Okay.
Where'd you find yours, Don?
eBay. I got it was $20 with free shipping.
Yeah, it's a good price.
That's
why I just got it.
Yeah, Captain Rufus put a link in. That happens to be the same people I got mine from.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not shocked when somebody says something when I say I use Audacity. It's fine. Yeah, is it the best? God, no. Is it fine for a podcast where a bunch of nerds are talking about toys in their basement, it's fine.
Audacity is really good for, I need to do a quick recording of something and I don't need to do a lot of work to it afterward. I would have to take so much time to relearn all my processes through Audacity just because it is, so outside of what I'm actually used to for editing and like mastering purposes.
Yeah, like I used to use like the full version of Premiere in Photoshop. Like
Yeah.
I don't anymore. I just use the Elements version. It's good enough for what I do. I paid like
probably so.
I paid like $150 for both of them like 3 years ago, and it's
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. Hey,
My
people-
bad habit too is like I find a piece of software, like I find the version that's comfortable and works the way I want it to, and I do everything in my power to never update it from that because it's never going to be that good again.
Mm-hmm.
You finally saw my chat message.
Yes. Hey, so what was going to be? What did you say the episode title?
I added it to the notes.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Ness has Hot Rod.
He said he got it from Pulse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pulse sold out before I even knew they even existed. Until
I had a Pulse pre-order that I canceled.
I was at work that day and I didn't know about it till well after the fact.
I have mine from Pulse. It's upstairs. I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mucinex finally kicked in. I feel a lot better.
You sound a lot better.
I feel so much better.
I mean, the
Good.
Mucinex and the Energy Gatorade probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Is that what that is still?
What, this? No, the Energy
Yeah.
Gatorade bottle is tiny.
Yeah, okay. No, that's what I thought. I thought the Energy Gatorade bottle looked a lot different than that.
This is a 33-ounce bottle of Walmart's knockoff Smart Water.
Okay, I've been recently drinking Walmart's 1 liter bottles of their artificially sweetened flavored seltzers.
Oh, they're good. The cherry
They
one's
are.
really good.
Yeah, the cherry limeade is like my favorite, but I also like the mandarin. The mandarin orange reminds me of the taste of Orange Crush, which is like a super nostalgia thing
Oh,
for
nice.
me. But like, yeah, I'm mostly just drinking plain water at this point. I've cut so much caffeine out of my ongoing
I need to do
intake.
that again. I need to do that again.
Like
Same.
my sleep quality is still awful, but it's not as bad as it was now that I'm not pumped full of caffeine
Good.
24 hours a day.
I am still.
And the sodas, the name brand sodas are just so damn expensive now. I can't justify that in the grocery budget. But like 79 cents for the 1 liter bottles of the seltzer, like it gets my carbonation urges fixed, and also it tastes pretty good. Like I was surprised how good that was.
All right, I'm gonna get going. I have a long day tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Take
night,
care,
Diecast.
Diecast.
Yeah, if I get flavored seltzer at this point, cranberry lime is one of my favorites. That's a good flavor when you can find it.
But here's the Gatorade bottle though beside of the.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
tiny.
yeah.
It's tiny.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I wasn't even like parsing the actual size of the bottle. It's just like, wait, didn't it have a yellow label on it at first? That's the detail that messed me up.
So Ness saying my 18-month-old still gets up 4 times a night. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
That sucks.
I mean, I also get up 4 times a night. Does that mean I'm 18 months old?
Means you have an issue with your never mind.
I mean, whatever it is, I probably do.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn off. I'm gonna people watching live. I'm gonna kill the stream because it's bedtime. So
We're
Right,
gonna all
good night,
go
everybody.
disintegrate. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bye everybody.
I know.
By YouTube, by Twitch.